Hey guys, welcome to Candle Essential. So today we're getting into something that is going to make candle making process so much easier. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to calculate your wax and fragrance without guessing. This is a follow-up to my last candle tutorial where I mentioned I had to double check my jar fill, and after testing, my true total fill sits around 230 grams. And now I'm going to break the method down step by step in grams for one candle and for a full batch. First, two quick steps. Total fill means the final weight inside a jar, so it's the wax plus fragrance oil all together. And for FO, it just means fragrance oil. Everything is measured in weight, not volume, so we're using grams on a scale. So my candle jars are around 300 milliliters, but jars are sold by volume and candles are poured by weight. And the main thing I want you to know is you don't have to use the exact jar I'm using. The same calculation works for any candle jar size. Is it small jars, medium jars, or the big jars, as long as you know the total fill weights. Just a quick tip for you guys, when you buy candle jars online, a lot of candle suppliers' website will actually tell you a recommended fill weight or suggest wax weight in the product description. So before you start, always check the list on the website where you're buying your candles. Sometimes it literally tells you the ideal fill amount for that jar. Even if it doesn't tell you, you can still test it yourself using melted wax and choosing the fill level you like. For my jars, I've tested them and they can go a little higher around 236 grams, but I stick to 330 grams because the lid fits properly and the finish stays consistent. So for this whole video, my total fill is going to be 230 grams with the soy wax and the fragrance oil together. One thing that helps a lot with accuracy is using two scales. For wax, I use a digital kitchen scale because the pouring pods and wax are heavier and it's the easiest way to weigh larger amounts. For fragrance oil and small additive like color dye, I use a Zeno mini pocket scale, which is really good. The reason is that fragrance and dye measure in small amounts and many kitchen scales only measure in whole grams, so they can round too much or throw your measurements away. Color dye is usually used in very small amounts, so I always start small, test the shade and adjust. Okay, as you can see on the screen right now, this is the candle mass method that I stick with and it's worked for me throughout my candle making. So this is how I do it. So you start with the wax weight equals the total fill divided by 100% plus the FO percent. So the FO is the fragrance oil. So the fragrance oil equals the total fill minus the wax weight. So here's what that means. So 100% is your wax, which includes your soy wax and the fragrance combined together, which gives a total of 100. So when you see 100%, think of all the wax amount. So for this example, I'm going to be using 8%. The best way to do it is to add it together. So you do 100% plus 8%, which gives a total of 108%. And after that, you divide the number by 100, which gives you a total of 1.08. So for this example, I'm going to be using one candle jar. So my total fill for my candle jar fills up to 330. Although my candle jar actually fills up to 336. I prefer to stick to 230 because I need more space for my candle lid. So for this example, I'm going to be starting with one jar with 8% fragrance. So the total fill for my one jar adds up to 230 with the soy wax and the fragrance. So the best way to do it is you divide it. So you take 100% plus 8%, which gives you 108%. And then 108 divided by 100, which gives you 1.8. After that, you divide 230 divided by 1.08, which gives you 212.96. Although if you're using a kitchen scale, you might notice that it doesn't give you 0.96. It only gives you the total number. So for example, if you're using a calculator and it gives you this number 212.96, the best ways to do it is to round it up to the nearest number. So as you can see, mine says 0.96. What I basically did is I rounded up by 1, so which gives me 213. It's the same thing with your kitchen scale as well, and that gives a total of 213 soy wax grams that I need. So now we need to know exactly what grams we need for the fragrance. All we have to do is minus 230 minus 212.96, which gives a total of 17.04. If you're using a mini scale, for example, you can actually get the right amount for the fragrance because the mini scale actually shows you compared to the kitchen scale, which shows you the whole digits. So now we know for one candle jar, we need about 213 grams, and then we need about 17 grams in total to get 230. So for a bigger batch, let's just say you want to use about 10 jars. The best way to do it is by multiplying 10 by 230 grams, because although we know that one jar adds up to 230 grams, all we have to do is just times it by 10, which gives a total of 2300. grams. And then the step 2 is the wax. To get the wax weight, all you need to do is divide it, which is 2300 divided by 1.08, which gives a total of 2129.63. And always remember to round it up to the nearest number, so the total we get is going to be 2130 grams. To get the fragrance oil is 2300 minus 2129.63, which gives a total of 170.37 grams. Now you've got the formula and the numbers, so you can batch your candles properly without actually guessing. If you haven't seen my soy wax candle tutorial, that video shows the full step-by-step pour with candle dye and fragrance oil. This is the mass that supports it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you really learned something from this method and that it helps you measure your wax and fragrance properly, especially when you're scaling up to a full batch. If this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.